Welcome everybody. My name's Glenn. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to do a little yin session today. So how I'm going to do is I'll show you the poses. I'll give you a rough estimate of time, but that's entirely up to you. They're just possibilities. You have to connect into you, see how you feel at the point in time when you're going through this. You might like to stay longer, you might check and you go, oh no, that one's really not for me, and move into the next pose. It's up to you, but just think about or check in with your body and just see how you're feeling and see if that's what you need at this particular point in time. So, our theme is simply what you put in your cup is what will spill out when you get challenged. So if you're putting in anger and resentment and things like that, and that's the stuff that's going to come out of you when you get rattled. And you know, there's been plenty of things around us recently to rattle us. But if you change your glasses and see things differently and fill yourself or fill your cup with kindness and generosity and compassion towards yourself and others, then hopefully that is the stuff that will come out. It's that simple old saying that you get out what you put in. So think about that and notice that when you get rattled, if you are aggressive, then maybe that's what you've been filling yourself with. So maybe that change could be more beneficial for you. So potentially, we're going to start in child's pose and take a little bit of a banana either way. You have to think about it if this one's for you. If you've been sitting at your desk and you're a little bit tight in the rhomboids, I would go a narrow child's pose, which is ankles together, knees together, palms facing up, down near your ankles, and slowly bring it down. Bring your forehead down, allow your shoulders to slide away. You can even have a pillow in front of your head. You can even take a pillow across your belly and bring it down that way. Period of time, a couple of minutes. You really won't need to be here too long. It's just enough time for you to breathe, get your head connecting to yourself, just relax and actually put yourself in the mindset to give yourself permission to relax. Or you can take on your wide knee, child's pose, sit your bum down, hands forward, sink it right down and relax it right in. You can go cactus arms if you want to, choice is yours. You might even like a little banana, so walking both hands across and then just taking your ribs to the opposite side. Bring them back into the centre and then walk it across and do the other side. You might choose to do that 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever it is for you. You might choose to just hang on one side, spend maybe 4 breaths, another 4 breaths in the centre, and then 4 breaths on this side. But do it the way you need to do it for you. Okay, so from here, our old friend cat-cow, turn sideways so you can see. So your shoulders over your wrists, your hips are over your knees, and just on an inhale, or exhale, drop your head, drop your tailbone, push down into the heels of your palms, and just like I've got a string, pulling your belly button up towards the roof, nearly push that spine up. And then the reverse. Lift your tailbone, lift your head, still pushing down into the heels of your palms, belly button's pulled into your spine, but you're pulling your spine down this time. If you want to intensify, push down into the heels of your palms, now pull your shoulder blades slightly down towards your hips. And from there, time to connect and listen to your body. You might like to rock it backwards and forwards, you might like to roll those hips. You might like to do pretty much whatever it is that feels nice for you. So just close your eyes, connect into yourself, and go wherever your body's asking you to go. If you listen to your body, it will tell you what it wants. Spend as much time here as you would like. You might even like to, from your cat-cows, just sink it back gently into a child's pose for a moment or two. and then come back up and try it again. It's just all possibilities, and then they're going to be specific to you based on how you feel right in this moment. Okay, so we're going to go through as many as you feel you need. You might even like to come forward and back and take on that downward facing dog and just roll it around and pedal it out. But what we are going to do is come forward to our plank, belly button into your spine, let your bum go soft, sternum away from the floor, and then lower it down. Yeah, we'll come up into our Sphinx. Always really nice, so if you can notice, my big toes are turned in, my heels are turned out, so I'm rotating my femur internally in my hips. So, elbows underneath your shoulders, and just imagine that you're laying on the floor watching telly. You can do these ones if you want to, choice is yours. Or, here's another possibility. So this one's your back bend, opening through the heart, a little bit of compression into your lower spine. I'd like to maybe propose something slightly different, and we've been doing this recently, is take your elbows slightly behind your shoulders, connect your hips to the floor. Now really disengage, let your butt go, let your thighs go, let everything deactivate below the top of your pelvis. Now connect your pelvis to the floor and gently lean forward. Take your weight gently forward, slightly forward. What you're trying to do is pull the triangle of your sacrum out of your hips, lengthening your spine. You'll feel that in your SI joint, but if you activate your bum, you won't feel this one at all. You have to deactivate. So you're going to drive your own experience on this one. You have to really let go. No muscular activation below the top of your pelvis. And you'll feel that. And when you feel it, you'll go, there it is. You might have to search, you'll find it. Now, you can, if you've got a block, bring your forehead to a block. You can bring your forehead down to the top of your thumbs and just relax it. A couple of minutes here is really quite nice, but completely deactivate, connect your hips and just gently pull your spine, lengthen your spine, taking that sacrum out of your hips. So imagine the triangle of your sacrum sitting down into the reverse triangle of your hips. Now, from here, what we'll do is you might want to wiggle it through a little bit more of a cat-cow. You might like to sink it back down and just take a little bit of a stretch into your child's pose. You might even like to come back up into a downward facing dog. Just a little bit. This is just a transition. You're not going to be here long. Potentially, you might like to, but generally, not so much. Okay, I'm going to go and do some wall work. Okay, not everyone's got a bolster, not everyone's got blocks, not everyone has the opportunity to have props, but we're going to have a wall. All right, now this stuff's really yummy. You can spend a lot of time here, but really just zone out, close your eyes and let it all go. So usually we'll start in our Viparita Karani. So Viparita Karani is pretty much your ankles above your hips. You might use a block or something or other like that, but we're going to do it against the wall. So take your hip so that it touches the wall, and if you've got a white wall, wipe your heels first. Okay, you heard it here first. All right, down you go. So your bum's touching the wall, legs are straight up the wall. All right, so you can go 180 arms, you can go arms above your head. Usually arms above your head will increase that length and that's a bit more intense.
But you can go aeroplane up, which are even a little bit softer. Okay, so a little bit of a dorsiflex, if that's what feels nice for you, but let go, right? You're not fighting this, you're not really tensing and trying to hold your legs up there, you just let go, really relax. Let your shoulders slide away from your spine, maybe even away from your ears a little bit. You start to relax your forehead, your temples, work down into your cheeks, soften your jaw, relax the back of your neck. Maybe even, you might even enjoy just a little bit of a head roll. That might be nice. Now, Viparita Karani, we can stay here, gee whiz, 5 minutes minimum, 6, 8 minutes, easily. Longer if you feel that this is really what you need. Enjoy it and relax. Now, at some point in time, you might even feel like taking your legs a little wider. Okay? Spend as long as you would like there too, a couple of minutes, whatever it is. Everyone's going to be different. We're all going to need and want and feel different things depending on what you've been doing. However, usually, from here, eventually, what's going to happen is you're really going to zone out. So you have to work into the pond of your mind as well. If you just keep running through your to-do list and this and that and everything else, then you really aren't going to relax. So just try and just let those thoughts drift away. Relax the pond of your mind, let it become clear, connect into the physical part of you. Notice your breath and just really relax and drop your energy and try to just release anywhere you're holding tension. When you do that, just listening to some soft music, eventually what will happen is your feet will just slowly slide down the wall and just let them do that in their own time. I'm doing it much quicker than what would usually happen, but eventually what will happen is you'll find that point under gravity where the soles of your feet will touch and your feet are just balanced. Okay, so they're not sliding down any further, they're just gently resting against the wall. Your knees are open, so you're opening through your hip and everything's just balanced under gravity. You can release your muscles, you let your butt go, piriformis, your glutes, your quads, you're just relaxing. Okay? Now you can hang out in this one. Oh geez, I've done this one for over 20 minutes. It's really easy to hang out here. If you go to sleep here, grab yourself a pillow, you can go to sleep here. And this one's actually quite a good one from here to here if you can't sleep. Okay, so that one's quite good. And eventually what will happen is you just simply roll off the wall onto your pillow and you'll end up asleep on the floor. Okay, but at least you're asleep. So back into this one, really, really nice. So it's like a Baddha Konasana, but with some elevation. Spend time here. It's really, really, really yummy. Okay, so that's the physical bit. We still need to work into this bit. As I mentioned to you the other day, if you can't turn down that white noise in your head, potentially, maybe, picture the pond of your mind. So just see the surface of a pond and then notice the ripples going across that pond. And they come out in concentric circles and off they go. Now they're just, imagine that they're your thoughts. And the more ripples there are, the more thoughts that are racing through your head, and the faster those ripples move, the faster your thoughts are going through your head. So let's actually purposefully concentrate on slowing those ripples down. And then you'll notice there's more flat surface between those ripples. And let those ripples move off to the edge and then just disappear. And then slow those ripples down, and then slow those ripples down until eventually there's just one last ripple moving out towards the edge, and then it will stop. And notice the clarity of that water. Notice how the water's becoming clear and it's becoming still. So let the pond of your mind follow that pathway. Try that. There might be other things you can try, but
it can't hurt to try it anyway. So there's another possibility, and something else that I'd like you to think about too, is we want to work into our glutes. So you need to be, so you want your hips underneath your knees, and to do that, if you've got your feet on the wall, your hips need to be shin distance away from the wall. So it's about that. Right. So from here, so you could stop right now. You could, what we've just done, you could spread that out into a 35-minute sequence easily. So starting your child's for a few minutes, maybe a little bit of a banana, into your cat-cows for a few minutes, maybe that little bit of a dog, bring it forward and take your version of Sphinx. You're looking at 15, 18 minutes there easily. Spin it around, Viparita Karani. Do Viparita Karani for 6, 7, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Come down into your elevated Baddha Konasana. Gee whiz, you could do that for 15 minutes. So theoretically, you could be out to a 40-minute, 45-minute mark now. So from there, all I would do is I would have my pillow, I'd roll off the wall and leave it at that. Okay. However, if you're a bit tight, sort of bit tight in the hips, you've been sort of sitting too long, the sedentary sort of stuff, this one's quite nice too. So think of knees over hips. So you always want to stack your joints. So what we're going to do is simply crossing, and you might even like to push that one away. So you're really going to feel this one into your glute medius, maybe even fractionally the piriformis, but depending. Now you don't have to push that away. You can just simply leave the cross here. Right, you can even have it in fractionally closer. You can even take your foot fractionally higher. So you can sort of work your own intensity from there. Yeah, and push away both ends. Then again, you determine how long you will stay here. A couple of minutes, not too much longer than that. All right. Then swapping sides, same thing. Now remember, both sides won't be the same, so don't expect the same result. Same thing, push that away. Now what you might even like to do as well is slide it over. So take that down. So you drop that down, create that little bit of length. So you can do the same on both sides. Put that down. Or from here, gently roll. Either of those possibilities, but you just have to check in with you, feel it, see what you need at this point. Maybe that one's not for you. Maybe you don't really, you're not that necessarily tight in the glutes, you don't necessarily need it, then don't put it in. Okay? They're just possibilities. Right? So you can pick and choose what you would like. The choice is yours. Listen to your body, it will tell you what it wants. Okay? You can, if you wanted to, you could even take a frog on the wall. So if you didn't want to, if you sort of more or less, you're sort of tight through your gracilis, you can take a little bit of a frog. So same deal, you always want to be hip distance, shin distance away, so your knees are stacked. And just let gravity take that one. So your shins are still perpendicular to the wall, your knees are over your hips. Just let gravity do that one. Now if you need a little bit more weight here,
You could get a few pillows or some cushions and just put them in here and just use that gravity of that weight pushing down to open that up. Okay? You still don't want to end up like this or like that. You still want, so when your knees, let's say if I started here and then gravity just slowly opened me up, what I would still want to do is slide my feet down so that my shins are perpendicular to the wall, and my knees are stacked over my ankles and my knees are also over my hips. And just gently move your feet out. That one's quite nice too, but you really don't want to stay in that one for a huge amount of time unless you absolutely need to. Now remember too, to come out, you just push that back up. You always roll off to the side and take a little snooze that way.
So there's just a few possibilities, beautiful people. You don't have to necessarily do them in, Viparita Karani to your Kanasana, yeah, I would take that one in that sequence, but you don't have to do this in any particular sequence. You just feel it yourself, check in with you. Like, so we're home, we're stuck, we're inside, we've got a wall. I've been sitting too long. I really feel like I need to do, something calming, soothing, relaxing. Maybe try a few of these poses. You don't have to do this full sequence. You might just go, oh look, I've got 10 minutes, I'll do a Viparita Karani and then drop my feet down to my Baddha Konasana. Beautiful. If you've got a few minutes or you've just been sitting for a little bit too long, maybe, child's pose up into a little bit of a cat-cow. You don't have to put a whole sequence together. Just whatever you feel you need. Maybe you might want to take, 5-minute bursts, 6 times a day, however it is you want to do it. But be kind to you, relax. Someone said to me last night actually that no act of kindness, however small, is ever lost. So be kind to you, be gentle, and take care. The light and the love in me truly honours, respects, and is so grateful for the light and the love in you. Thank you for your energy, your effort and enthusiasm. Stay safe. Namaste.